Dolfinos Rest System, chin rest, shoulder rest, all in one. Here it is on my violin. You might have actually seen me use this shoulder rest already. I've been using it for the last 6 months and it's in all of my YouTube Shorts videos, so you can just check them out. I'll just overlay some here just for you guys to see. I am not sponsored in any way, shape or form by Dolfinos. If only, okay? This is an expensive piece of kit, which I purchased with my own fair hands, my own fair money. This is the Carbon Plus model, which is the cheapest of the 3 models they sell. This comes out at around £700, which, yes, if you convert that to dollars, would be around $1,000. In fact, I think it's on sale right now, which does make me quite sad. So, is it worth it? Let me tell you my experience. What even is the Dolfinos Rest System? 3 components. You've got the chin rest, the adapter, and the breast wing. The chin rest that I have here is the Berber shape, okay, which you can buy as a chin rest, just like standard chin rest shape. This is not the model that comes with the rest system. I believe that's the Toledo or the Toledo, T-O-L-E-D-O. That's a city in Spain, I do know that. This is customizable in that sense. You have the 3 different components. That's the Dolfinos Rest System. The product that I have is the Carbon Plus. This is the model that's made out of carbon fiber, the clue's in the name, and it's got this curved shape to it. Now with the curved shape, apparently Dolfinos told me themselves that the reason why it's this shape is that they did loads of research over years. This apparently is the most ergonomic shape of a shoulder rest to enable people to have the best posture and not to have any issues and tension and all of the things that, if you're a violinist, you know. The thing is that they have another model which is called the LA edition, Los Angeles edition. And apparently that model was made for Leonidas Kavakos, a very maverick solo violinist, world-famous violinist. And that model was made for him. The shape is different. The shape, rather than this curved shape of the Carbon Plus, is actually straight, and it's much more similar to a standard shoulder rest that we all know. A straight line across the body and shoulder. So I've actually tried the LA edition. I believe it's around £1,120 at time of recording, which is insane. I would imagine that's something like $1,500. For me, when I tried it for 2 weeks, I had it on trial, it was better for me because it's what I'm used to. So for me personally, I just didn't want to, and I couldn't justify spending almost another amount of this shoulder rest. It's all very confusing. There is actually another model as well, which is, I believe, called the Air Edition. The Air Edition is actually exactly the same as this, but it's made out of the fancy aircraft aluminium material. But it's still curved, right? And they all cost different amounts. 2 of them are the same shape, but with different materials. And one of them is a different shape with that higher quality material. Did I do a good job of explaining that? I hope so. Along with the chin rest and the shoulder rest, obviously, that makes up the Dolfinos, you have the screwdriver. Okay, and essentially, I would say it's like a little pen. You open it up and you have the little tiny Allen key on the end. This tiny bit, the tiny end, is to loosen the screws of the chin rest. And then, very clever, I do like this, it's all magnetic as well, so you don't have to worry about that. This is a larger Allen key end, and that is for the screws on the once you take the chin rest off, this is the screws that keep the adapter in place. So it's all very clever. Swiss engineering at its finest. And the price. All right, so why do I actually think this is a really good shoulder rest? Okay, it's almost worth the ridiculous price, simply because it doesn't touch the side of the instruments. Okay, so you're gonna get the most resonance out of your instrument possible, I would imagine, because you have the breast wing, okay, so the shoulder rest itself is suspended from the adapter, which I think is like their incredible piece of engineering. There's nothing else like that that I know of. In fact, no, there might be the Wittner, but I think it's not as advanced as this, okay? So what is quite good about this is that you have that. The sound, very good. It doesn't touch the side of the instrument. So then another great thing about the breast wing is that it is infinitely customizable. Like, okay, not only can you adjust the height of this with this sliding slider situation, okay? So you slide it one way and then it goes down to its lowest position, okay, the breast wing. And then if you want it to be, let's say I want to choose it to be this high, then you just slide or scroll, whatever this screw is called, okay? And then that fixes it in place. Do you see that? That fixes it there. Okay, so then that's your chosen height, and then off you go. Okay, that was actually quite good for me. And then it adjusts in so many other ways. It's actually quite overwhelming in a good way. You know, it's like when you're at a restaurant and then there's just too much choice. I'm overwhelmed. I just want someone to say, you can have this or this, choose which one, okay? I've got it all set up how I like it. I know it looks crazy, but you can twist these all around. You can sort of twist them on the diagonal. You can loosen them and then slide them up and down the little slider here. So you can have this pad way closer into your chest, or you can have it with this particular shape of the Carbon Plus, you can have it actually going, almost hooking over your shoulder, a bit like that Bon Musica shoulder rest. I'm not a fan of that, but you have the capability of doing that. So you can really just customize, okay? You can have it straight, which is what I was trying when I first got it. I go for this kind of shape for me. And then the same with this as well. This is the chest end, okay? Where you can see that's where you're going to get that support from your chest. And again, you can slide that up and down, you can fiddle with it, and there are so many different positions. Yeah, I would just say that that is obviously the absolute unique selling point of this product, the customizability. So that is wonderful. And chin rest. You can literally change the height of the chin rest. You can't change the angle of it, but I don't think that's necessary. And actually, these pads have a kind of a grip texture to them, so it's like anti-slip, which is great. Oh yeah, and I should say, it's so lightweight. Like there's just nothing to it. I did ask in the shop in London where I bought mine, would it be possible to use a different chin rest and have the Dolfinos shoulder rest, okay, to sort of just mix and match? And they said yes, because obviously you've got the adapter here, okay? And as long as your chin rest it has to be side mounted then, as long as your chin rest can fit on the instrument, okay, bearing in mind you have the adapter here, then it will work. So you can actually use your own chin rest if it's side mounted. Otherwise, you're at the mercy of whatever Dolfinos have on offer. But honestly, like in this little section, which is, I guess, the pros of the Dolfinos, is that I do like the shoulder rest. It has helped me ergonomically, okay? Because I am someone that has struggled so much with my setup. I'm never happy. I just hope that after spending this amount of money on this, that it's gonna stick and I'm gonna be happy with it. This is what I have found to be the safest way to put the Dolfinos breast wing, so the shoulder rest, onto my instrument. So imagine doing this at the beginning of any practice session, any gig, performance, doesn't matter where you are, okay? And as freelance violinists especially, you find yourselves all over the shop doing all sorts of things in all sorts of environments. So here we go. So I'm gonna put this on like this. I'm using my legs, I'm sorry that you can't see my legs right now, but using my legs to make sure that the violin is fixed in place. And there we go. Okay, so now the shoulder rest is fastened to my instrument. One of the cons of having the Dolfinos is actually that there are so many little intricate details and compartments and little screws and things involved in the engineering that if one little screw is not tightened properly, it will start to vibrate and rattle. So you'll be playing along and then all of a sudden you'll be hearing this rattling noise. And you're like, oh gosh, and then you've got to get the screwdriver that comes with the Dolfinos and then make sure that everything's tightened. So, you know, there's a lot of maintenance with this. At the end of the gig, you just want to put your violin away into its case like everyone else and escape, right? Get home as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, you'll be found like this, turning the violin upside down, making sure that it's in between your legs, you know, so this is lower than what you can see right now, but this is my safest way of doing it. And I'm holding the violin securely between my legs. And then you have to bring the breast wing up so that there are these little sort of pincers that have to push down on a metal plate, which then releases the tension. So then you can, then you can remove these pins and then it just slides out really easily. My pet peeve is having to put my violin upside down and, you know, do this every single time, as opposed to normal shoulder rest, bam, 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 done. Normal shoulder rest, bam, done, right? And I'm here, you know, 2 minutes later, everyone's gone, everyone's at home or in the pub or whatever. And I'm just a bit like, hang on, I'm coming, okay? So that's the truth of it, all right? I have been using this for 6 months now. Okay, that's the truth. I'm gonna leave this footage in because this is real. This is me taking out the screws of the Chinrest, okay? So you just very lightly loosen that end, then you have to loosen the other end. Can you see the bigger screws there? Okay, so then that is what the other end of the screwdriver is, which is a bigger ended Allen key, whatever you call this. And then I'm not going to do this now, but if you wanted to remove the adapter, you unscrew, slot the adapter away. So it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, but just to say, if you are going to the luthier, they must have this key. Is the Dolfinos Rest System worth it? The answer is no. I would not necessarily recommend anyone buy this shoulder rest, chin rest system. Yes, it's very innovative. Yes, it's kind of really beautiful in its own way. And yes, it is good. But on the other hand, if you just need something simple that does the job, there are so many shoulder rests and chin rests. I mean, I could open a shop with what I've got, honestly. There are so many things on the market that are a fraction of the price and do just as good a job for so many violinists and viola players out there. So do your research, because this is a fun little product and it looks cool and so many people will ask you about it, but you don't have to have it to be a really, really good musician and to play really well. It just depends on your personal situation. And if you're into the luxury products for violins, then I have done a review on the Comosono Silence, which is a hotel practice mute. It's pretty incredible. It is on the pricey end of the market. It's the most expensive practice mute that you can buy for sure. So you can check that video out right here, and feel free to check out my other videos as well while you're here. Spend some time with me. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. That used to be my old... 8 years ago, I started YouTube, and that was my old signing off. So I'm gonna from now on, carry on going and see you in the next one. And also, bye-bye. All right, you heard it here first. Bye-bye.